Well, hi folks, it's about middle of August I think now. To be honest, I can't even tell you what date it is. Lovely day, as you can see, lovely evening, so I thought I'd get up and do a bit, show you what's been going on, show you what's left, show you how things are being dried out and stored and things, because there's not a great deal growing because everything's finished early. So we'll get on and harvest a few bits, pull some more potatoes up. I can't see them being any better than the last lot, but pull some carrots up and things. Basically, we'll just see how things are getting on. So we'll start off in this bit. This is my second lot of sweet peas. I'm absolutely hanging with them this year. Best year for sweet peas ever. And these are my leeks. I planted them a little bit further apart this year. I can't believe how well they've grown, considering how early it is. Look, I mean, they're definitely big enough to eat now. So, and that's just into, you know, middle of August top. So it's, like I said, everything's at least a month to 6 weeks early this year. Trouble is, we've got the pheasants in again, as you can see, making a dust nest, making a right mess. So I'm not sure what I can do about that, really. So this is my little hobbit house here, as you can see. It's just somewhere else. I've managed to try and dry a few of the onions off, because I've filled the polytunnel up, but they're all drying up nicely. Got all the shallots on the top, on racks. They were pulled a bit later, but everything's seems to be drying out nicely, and the leaves, so they should be drying out well, and they should be, well, ready to store in a few weeks, I would imagine. So into my pond, and this is a sight I've never seen before. Got this amazing looking water lily flower about to come out. It must have grown really well this year, the whole plant, because it's been that warm. So there's another flower bud coming there, so should be quite spectacular. It's only a tiny little pond, so like I said, I've never had one flower before, so that's a novelty. I'll show you that when it's fully out. So into the polytunnel, as you can see, all my onions are drying out really nicely now. All got nice papery leaves. You can see, look, huge things. So the leaves are really drying off, so it'll only be another couple of weeks, like I said before, I'll be able to chop the leaves off, I thought. So in this bit, these are the first French beans, just about coming to an end. I planted some more lettuce in here, but something ate it. It wasn't slugs, and I found loads of bird droppings. It wasn't pheasants either, so it was some kind of smaller bird, but what that would be, I don't know. Likewise in here, I planted some more in there, and it ate them all. So anyway, this is a cucumber plant, as you can see. Loads of cucumbers. They're quite a rough variety. They look quite rough. I'll just take this one. Should really cut it. Called Market More. Quite spiny, but these little spines on them, they just rub off and then it's smooth as anything. But they're really tasty. Never get too big and absolutely idiot proof. As you can see, there's loads on the floor growing and all sorts. Anyway, one thing that has been bothering me, I'll show you the evidence in a minute. I've got absolutely swarms of these insects. I don't know what they are. They're not midges, they're not flying ants, but they're everywhere. And if you look at my second lot of French beans, every single one of the leaves is just absolutely covered in them, and they're dead. So whether or not a bean plant's got some kind of poison in its leaves, this one especially, look at that, they're just plastered with them. And they're all dead. So whether the bean plant takes nutrients from them, I don't know, but if you look, they're absolutely covered. So if anyone can help me out with what they are, that'll be much appreciated. So anyway, second lot of French beans, looking covered in flies, but should be starting to produce a few beans in about a week or so. So I'll pull a few carrots. These are the ones that had the mole in, unfortunately, so we'll just see how we get on. Like I said last time, there were quite a few forked ones, because it had obviously mixed the soil up underneath, and they're all forked in this because of that, for that reason. So they're all edible. Look at that. They've all, obviously it's got to that height and just hit some but then it must have missed that one, because that's a normal one, so that's what they should be like. But in places where the mole's been and mashed up, you know, sort of smashed all the soil up and obviously disturbed the roots, then they've gone like that. Because if I pull one out of this box, I can show you that they're all absolutely perfect. So it's only mole problems that have made them go a bit mutated like that. Right then folks, I'm going to pull one of these cabbages. They're absolutely huge. Even if I do say so myself. Savoy cabbage. Way too early, but absolutely enormous. So I'll just twist this out. Hup. I'll show you. Just take a few of these old leaves off. I've just knocked an old slug trap over and it stinks. So there we go. Hang on, bear with me. Should do some secateurs really. So there you go, look at that. That's a beaut, isn't it? Look at the size of that thing. Like I said, well too early. I was hoping these to be coming in autumn and winter. And the red cabbages are the same. They're ready now and they shouldn't be ready till at least October. So we've got to eat them now, unfortunately, but better to have a decent one than a lot of rubbish ones. Oh dear. Right then folks, we'll finish off with a major disappointment. The last of my new potatoes this year. So that's the last of the first or second earlies. Still got a few of the blue Danube still growing, but I don't think they'll be any good either. So let's see if I've got any more than we have done. A few pots, I've just nettled myself, that's another bonus. So every other pot I've opened of these, there's been absolutely none near the bottom and just a few at the top. So we'll see if this will be any different, and I don't think it will be. Just put those there. Right, they're not a bad crop at the top, but I mean there's some monsters. Look at that, they're lovely. That's jazzy, it's the last jazzy this. We'll just get this pot. If they'd been all the way from the top to the bottom of the pot, then it'd have been a good crop, but there's just nothing lower down. So whether that's me not having watered them enough earlier on when we had the hot weather, quite possibly that, because if the soil was dry at the bottom then and a little bit more moist at the top, then that's a green one. It goes searching for the moisture whether it's lower or higher, so it possibly is the reason why they've got such a poor yield. Yep, not a lot of difference in this one. Got a few more. I think that's it. No disappointment, but enough for a meal, so it's not a dead loss. Just not as many as I'd usually get. So there we go. That's the last of the new potatoes this year. Good riddance to them. Let's roll on next year and get some cracking crops as usual. So right then folks, that's about it. A few little harvests, not a lot growing really now. Just a few basic bits. So yeah, another bit of decent weather for a change. So we'll still keep cropping, still growing some more lettuce and things like that. Keep them going until the frost go. But that's about how it's hanging at the moment, folks. See you later.